Okay, welcome back, viewers at home. Welcome back, viewers at home. As you know, I am PAPCA International, the one that have roots in Africa, branches in North and South America, Asia, Australia, Antarctica, and Europe. We are still discussing on poverty virus in Nigeria and trying to find the vaccine for the pandemic. And today, our guest presented to us on the common interest to find a way out. And there are a series of questions and answers. Do well to stay tuned and listen. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, PAPCA International TV, our Facebook page, PAPCA International, Instagram handle PAPCA International, for a series of episodes coming your way to see how we find the vaccine to be able to defeat this pandemic, poverty in Nigeria, not even Nigeria, even Africa as a whole. Welcome back, Victor Lee.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
Today, you presented a lot. And Nigerians would like to know, one of the questions is that during your presentation, you pointed out that individuals need to see a need to buy for change.
Yeah.
Then the questions that was presented, looking at Nigeria, what can you say at the present state? More especially, I want to talk about the political setting from 2015. That the populace, or let's say the citizens, crave for change.
Yeah.
And change was given to the populace.
Yep.
Change was given to Nigeria. And there was change of power from a different political party to another political party at the moment. From 2015, at this time, it's 2021. Someone that you, being a citizen of Nigeria, lived in Nigeria and also living in UK, can you say there is integration or progression in the Nigerian states?
Thank you very much for your question. I would say Nigeria is not integrating. I see we are heading towards disintegration. When there's a problem, it is natural for people to crave for a solution to it, or for them to react and say, "Ow, I'm having pain somewhere." Then your brain will start calculating or start thinking of where the solution is likely to come from. In the case of Nigeria, I believe strongly a lot of Nigerians, or a lot of young Nigerians, at different dispensation or generations, have been able to think about it and say, where is this problem coming from? We all first thought it was the military. Later, when military left power, they gave it to war with, we had democracy, and people felt like, probably democracy is whatever. Okay, it's going to take a long time for us to have a better country. However, then the democratic system started looking like it's messed up. And everybody started looking, I think it's the politicians. It's this party. It's that party. But I think recently with some Nigerians are coming to a realization that one of the biggest of all the problems we have at the moment is our constitution, and which I have seen people come together to say, even if we choose a saint to come and become the president of Nigeria in 2023, it will still be messed up, because the constitution in which we are using to run election, the constitution we are using to govern ourselves, is not written it's not written for Nigerians. It's written at the heart or in the interest of a small group of people, with God knows who probably sponsored it. So for Nigeria to achieve or reach its potential, some people are clamoring for a change in constitution, which makes a lot of sense, because yes, constitution needs to be reviewed. Some people worked on reviewing it, but I don't think they've allowed it to to be implemented. So every Nigerian needs to see a need for change, a need for things to change from what it is right now. For example, if you ask some Nigerians, probably those who have family members in power, they feel like everything that is going on in Nigeria is okay. If you ask the general populace who does not have anybody in power, they feel like, no, Nigeria is not working the way it's supposed to work. If you ask Nigerians that had the opportunity of leaving Nigeria and coming back, they feel like, no, this is not a working country. So meaning that we need to have a buy. I mean, the whole citizens we as citizens of Nigeria need to see that something is not working in Nigeria. We all have to come to a conclusion like, okay, there is a need for us to change this thing. Then we all have to come on a table and say, okay, what is not working? Let's fix it. The one philosophy I have kind of learned, which is very German, is that I believe strongly that it is more expensive to fix or patch a problem. I believe strongly in tearing the paper and rewriting the whole thing from scratch. What I mean is that I'm not talking about, okay, let's destroy Nigeria. What I'm saying is, if our constitution is not making sense, let's pull the whole thing down and rewrite something that works for us. It is us, not those who wrote, because let's assume that those that wrote the constitution are dead. Let's assume they are dead. We can't continue on what they wrote and is working for them at that point in time. We need to write something that works for us. And at that point, and I think if Nigeria should get to that position and we are able to implement it, that means we are actually heading towards a path for change.
That's good. If I will get it, you said that you pointed this point blank that Nigeria is on the path of disintegration. For Nigeria to be on the path of disintegration, then permit me to say that shows that Nigeria has not been moving forward from 2015.
Probably before that.
Okay, probably even before that. Oh, that's good. Yes. So viewers at home, let's see disclaimer. This platform is apolitical. Have it at the back of your mind. We are Nigerians, passionate Nigerians that always want to see Nigeria work. PAPCA International bringing this series, Poverty Virus in Nigeria, look at the needs to find the vaccines. So thank you, viewers at home. This is a disclaimer for everybody thinking that it is sponsored by any political individual. No, not at all. Okay, thank you very much again, Victor Lee. Again, on the course of your discussion, looking at Nigeria, that is, we say we practice democracy. I think I said personally, quote me, this is my own, that Nigeria does not, personally for me, I didn't see democracy being practiced because I see because from your own point of view, when you try to also explain about the disintegration of Nigeria, you say that people that their families are empowered, they are not seeing the problem of Nigeria. While people that don't have a taste of the power are the ones seeing the problems of Nigeria. So that's what gave me the effrontery and the audacity to define democracy in Nigeria as the government of the pocket and the pocket of their family. And also looking at it again, that Nigeria, the Nigerian leaders were elected, democratically elected by its citizens with two-thirds majority, with 25% at least of the casted vote in each state before we have leaders, or each region, or each local government, or each zone, before a leader, either as a senator, a governor, the president, the House of Representatives, House of Assembly is elected. That is the law. But now, why, on your course, why do you say that Nigeria is like practicing oligarchy?
Thank you. I would go back to the slide that talks about oligarchy, and it's very simple. The slide says types of government, and it says democracy. The arrow that comes underneath says it's ruled by many. Ruled by many means that the people in power are the one that needs to listen to the people. The many are the masses. The few are the ones in power, which means the masses can wake up tomorrow and say, the weather is too hot. And the people in power needs to find a way to make the weather cool. I'm coming up with impossible problems. They have to run Etaskater to make sure that they meet the needs of the people. Like their job, they are like nannies. Their job is to make sure the baby did not cry. It's not to put the plaster in the mouth of the baby, because that's what we are having if we say we are running democracy in Nigeria. The democracy we are running in Nigeria, they are putting plaster in the mouth of the baby. The baby cannot cry. The baby cannot make a demand. The nannies are eating and the baby is growing slim. And I don't think that is democracy. What we have that looks like what is working in Nigeria right now is oligarchy, because it's basically been defined as a country that is ruled by few people and the masses does not have a say. If you protest in Nigeria today, you either get killed or you go to jail. You cannot say anything about anybody in power because, it's oligarchy. In democratic system, you criticize everybody from top to bottom. It's a flight hierarchy system. The power distance is very short. The power distance we have in Nigeria is very small. The power distance we have in Nigeria is very wide. The only difference between what we have before, which is dictatorship, which is ruled by one person, and only is just that we have maybe ruled by 100 people this time around, and that's why we have oligarchy. If you look at all the people that are controlling the whole affairs of Nigeria, they are not even up to 20,000 in a country of 200 million people. So it's not even just my own definition. The whole thing is accurately said by itself. It's just very obvious that one person or two people controls the affair of a state, or one person or two people controls the affair of the whole country. It's obvious. I think the moment when Nigerians will say we want the price of petrol to become 10 naira and the price becomes 10 naira tomorrow, with the people in power running Etaskater to make sure it happens, then at that point in time, then we are running democracy.
Okay, thank you very much. Viewers at home, I believe your questions are answered. As for me, I know my proposition. Another question to you again. You try to talk about the middle class being disappearing in Nigeria, and you say that the viewers should go and search for themselves.
Yep.
Within few minutes, a viewer, the audience are asking, can you please, just within 1 minute, help us and point at us clearly that this middle class, that how did they disappear in Nigeria? Because they don't have the resources. They just want to hear within 1 minute.
Okay. Well, I could have gone on Google and start doing search and etc. But let me break this down into a bit of break it down into something simple. In a situation where you have middle class, at least there should be some kind of defining factor. Let's assume that in the whole Nigerian system, what seems to be a factor for everybody? Okay, let me put it this way. In the UK, for example, either you go to uni or you did not go to uni. The moment you learn a trade or you know how to do something, you get a job, you understand, and you're able to feed yourself. You're able to look after yourself. And if you look at the same thing in the US, the more you can do, then the possibility for you to climb the ladder and get better economically as you go. You understand? But in Nigeria, with 2 masters, 3 masters, working hard 247, becoming shoemaker, learning weather, learning farming, there is nothing that you've done that pushes you above, unless you become a bandit or a politician or you become a terrorist. Those are the things you can become that can push you into the middle class, because that is the only thing you can do for you to either get closer to the people with guns or a little bit above them or be in their class. You can. And the sad part of it is that even the people who are who are with guns, they are also part of the low class, which is really, really sad, with some small element of that class who are above them, giving command to them to say, if you see anybody that is trying to climb ladder to join me here, me, your boss, you need to destroy them. So you are either very poor, you are either poor in Nigeria or you are very rich. And everybody in Nigeria is poor. Somebody made an analogy to say, I built a house in 2000 and something, and when I take all the money I get from the rent, that time it was $12,000. And this year, when I take all the money I get from the rent, it is $3,000. No matter how much you work or you put anything together, investment or whatever, a single policy, a single misbehavior can just mess everything up. So there is no middle class. You are either extremely rich, which is belong to the powerful, or you are just part of the poor masses.
Okay, I believe viewers at home, your question is answered. There is no middle class in Nigeria. You're either the don or nobody. Thank you very much. Another question from another viewer that you talk about the Finnish lesson, which is from the Finland.
Yeah.
0.2.
Yeah.
Do you think with the present state of Nigeria, permit me to say that for what I've seen, Nigeria is in dilapidated form. 100%. And that is why the various poverty has enravaged us and we don't even have the strength to stand on our feet. How will it be possible Nigeria to emulate the finished lesson 2.0 within 2 minutes?
For finished lessons kind of system, for us to be able to have a system like finished lessons the way they have, I think the first thing is the fundamental part for us is to build a country of our own that works for us. The same way we will replicate the same model into every sector, looking at different countries and building our own. China does the same thing. They go everywhere, they send their people out there to go and study in every country, learn what happens in their system, come back home, and they come and create what works for them. And exactly the same way it works for Finland in terms of their educational sector. We just need to do that at every sector, every level in Nigeria, and that's the only way it can work. So Finnish system works for the Finnish people. Nigerians can come up with their own system that works for them. China did exactly the same thing with their own educational system too, and it works.
Okay, thank you very much. Viewers at home, there's still possibility that hope is not all lost. Nigeria can be great again. And we together can conquer the pandemic poverty virus in Nigeria. Okay, another question to you. Looking at what happened during the protest, let's say the national protest by the young people in Nigeria as of last year, October, what happened by October, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
You understand? And after that incident, the post-protest incidents resulted into the breaking of stores of foods by the masses. And these stores were owned by the government and the food belongs to the masses. I want to ask you a question. As someone that understands the rule of law, understand? You have a test of home because northeast, southwest, home is still home is the best.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
And being at the diaspora, for people to take the law by their hand, is this civil?
Okay.
Number one. Number two, again, are you not seeing that the populace, the larger masses that did such kind of acts, if given the opportunity to be at the echelons of power, are they going to do worse than the leaders? Because there is a saying that says that you cannot give what you don't have. That shows that the leaders we produce is the image of what we are in the society.
Yeah.
So what can you say and what is your proposition about this within a few minutes?
every Nigerian is a product of the system we've created for ourselves. And if people have to start breaking stores for them to feed themselves, it is not the fault of the people. It's a product, or it's a sign that something is wrong with the system. If you go to, if we go and look at it by the way the Nigerian law is structured, definitely everybody that was caught in the act of doing that will probably go to jail. In some countries in Europe, they banned begging. Do you know why? They didn't just ban begging. The reason why they banned begging is because they have a system in place for every of their citizens, such that when you don't have a job, the government keeps paying you salary until you get a job. But while you are getting that money, the condition for you to keep getting that money is for you to start going into some training process, some skill acquisition program. While that, before you finish that program, there is a job already waiting for you. And if you are disabled, then they can continue paying the money because it's an health problem. It's not something that has to do with you not having a job. Now, for people in that environment to be begging, then that means the system what? Failed. The only people that is left begging in most of those countries are people that came from another country and does not have a proper kind of residence in that country. That works because they created a system for themselves, for their home people. So coming back to Nigeria, for people to start breaking into the store and stealing something, that means it's not the fault of the people. It's because we don't have a system that works for us. Because if we have a system that works for us, it should not happen. In a proper society where people are really, really building stuff in the interest of the people, a lot of people are supposed to resign. A lot of people are supposed to be fired for hoarding food that belongs to the people, regardless of whatsoever they are tied to their position is. Many people are supposed to be ashamed of themselves and should resign voluntarily if truly we have a system that works for us. You know, I said every one of us are the product of the system that we came out from, the Nigerian system. If the system is not proper, regardless of whosoever you put there, either good or bad, they will still come out with that very result that we are seeing today. If you look at most of our politicians, they all schooled abroad. When they came to US, when they came to Europe, when they came everywhere, they behaved themselves. They are very law abiding. But the moment they leave and they get to Nigeria, the Nigerian system shapes them and they become more greedy. So
wow, that's another point of contention. When I was meditating, I look at it. I see the poverty virus. Sorry to cut you short.
Yeah, it's okay.
I look at it, as you said, categorically. Our leaders, most of them, I would say virtually most of them, have a taste of either Europe or America. You understand? But I begin to cry. Why is it that the system in Nigeria does not support? When I say that they do not try to import that system to work, because some of them are governors, you understand? Some are ministers, some are senators. So there's no way that you tell me that after having a taste of what is happening, a good power supply in UK, the good road system, you understand? There is orderliness, the police, everything is working very well. And you tell me that you are the one, the chief security officer of a state, or you understand, or you're a lawmaker, you cannot be able to implement that. So the thing has been a source of concern. So that's why I say that, do you think that Nigeria still needs national orientation? Do you think that also again, do we still need to go back again to be recolonized again? The third one again, how will it be possible that a bad water in a cup, you understand, isn't it? When bad water mixed with a good water, how will it be possible that that water will be good? Will it be fitting for drinking?
So, those of our leaders, I believe strongly that some people are in the head, in the realms of power beyond probably those who we see, because I've seen people with good intention go out there and they struggle to make a change because they are just one person in the midst of many people who are so used to this system. So I believe, just like I said, in terms of change, for change to happen, there needs to be a buy-in of everybody. Unless if we have some kind of dictatorial system where somebody says and say, I will force this on all of you, then at that point in time, things can change directions.
Sorry to cut you short. Viewers want to know more. So if that's the case, are we advocating for military rule?
Well, it is our choice. We either sit down and think within ourselves and say, let's build this thing to work for us, or we either go into another slavery. Because, for example, now I've seen some contracts in Nigeria where politicians are signing their state off for 99 years so that they can be 20 or 40% older of a project that is funded by China, meaning that for the next almost 100 years, China technically owns that state. I'm not going to mention any state, but I've seen contracts. And it's actually up there. You can just check them out, see contracts that are signed in different states. So it's an option and it's a choice. It's either we come to a realization that this thing is messed up, we need to start fixing it, or we find ourselves in another slavery, which is slavery 2.0, or we get some good guys who find their way to power and change the course of things. But I don't believe the military style is the best way to go, because one thing is that you might have your own directions. Some other people will gang up against you and defeat you and change the course of things, and we have no direction. But the moment we come together and realize, like, yes, there is a need for change from the top to the bottom, I believe it will be easy for us to drive the course such that even if one person dies or one person falls off in the line, everybody in the whole system carries the vision to say, this is what we want. And at that point in time, then there is going to be change.
Okay. I love the proposition and what you said, and I believe viewers also like it much. So viewers at home, don't forget to follow us on our YouTube channel, Papka International TV, our Facebook page, Papka International, Instagram, Papka International, for more episodes. We are still on our journey to see how we find the vaccine for the pandemic poverty virus in Nigeria. And time is not on our side, but with the time that we are having, as we are wrapping up, Victor Lee, on the course of presentation to the fellow Nigerians home at the diaspora, you talk about certificates, and in which many Nigerians, a lot have certificates. I want to use one stone to kill 2 or 3 birds. Talking about community education. Talk about certificates. Number one, how will it be possible for the child of nobody to become somebody in Nigeria? Previously, we had just finished the show on what is the fate of research and development in Nigeria. Looking at that, the presenter was able to present a lot of things, try to give us a working guide to be able to elevate poverty and make children number one. Because I still reiterate it again, I came from a poor background. I see how people are handicapped, physically impaired, you understand? This young man did a great research work, but not yet sponsored. So if you're talking about try to advocate for other form of skills, even the normal formal education, either the religious one that we have, or the normal one that the colonial master were able to put it for us, that we go to school, understand? Many still don't have it. Then what can we do to be able to help it out?
From the what's it called? You said, how can the child of nobody become somebody?
Yes.
I'll still go back to my one single answer: system. if we don't have a system that creates a ladder for the child of nobody to become somebody, the child of nobody will only have the option of struggling to find a way of survival to become somebody by any means necessary, including crime, including whatever it is. And that's what we are seeing today. I remember back in Scotland, back in 2014, 2015, they came up and said, we realize a lot, we want to become the next hub for technology and innovation. And we are thinking of companies to start springing up in Scotland. So they said, we have £100,000 for everybody that wants to start up a company, new idea, just come up with idea. The condition for you to have the money is your company must have its headquarters in Scotland. So 50,000 out of the 100,000 will be a grant. 50,000 out of the 100,000, where the other 50,000 will be a loan. Meaning that if you come up with a good idea, you have a ladder of whatever. You just need to be able to show you that your business is going to be viable. Trust me, a lot of people started and new companies started springing up. And today, so many companies came up out of that process. They created a ladder, a platform for those companies to do what? To grow. Because the government knew that when they invest that amount of money, those companies, one way or the other, will have to pay their taxes where? In Scotland. You understand? And all the banks that funded it, they are all Bank of Scotland, they are Scottish, all Scottish banks. Do you understand my point?
Yes.
A platform for the child of nobody to become somebody. A child of nobody needs a platform, which is 100% backed by a system to become somebody. Your second question, I think I lost a bit of track on that. What was it?
Okay, talking about certificates.
Okay.
That we have a lot normal formal certificate. So I'm trying to talk about it, that if even the formal certificate that were given to us, so education was given to us by the colonial master, it's not even well enough to be able to reach that child of nobody. Understand? Then how will the system be able to think that the child of nobody can also have another form of system that can be able to be educated? Because education is not all about, it's not all about the certificate itself.
Yeah.
So that is how can we be able to talk to Nigeria that we can be able to have a way out to be able to educate people at a larger scale, not only through school system.
I would say, even in the UK here, if you go to uni and you graduate, the difference between your salary as a PhD holder and a BSc holder is probably £1,000 per year. That's the difference in salary. That means certificates at some point doesn't make much sense. They would pay you more according to your experience in what you are about to do. And that's the defining factor. I've worked in bank, I've worked in health sector, I've worked in different sectors. I have PhD holders, their salary is no more than the salary of the people who came in with bachelors. Those who get more money and those who add more years of experience doing that job. That's what the system dictates. Now, I don't want to go by system. I've mentioned it that if there is no system to create opportunity for the child of nobody, the child of nobody needs to find a way to go. And trust me, what I've seen that is working so far in Nigeria or everywhere is, thank God we have access to internet. You can learn anything. People are learning how to code. People are doing a lot of things. You can see Paystack, you see Flutterwave, they are raising billions and millions of dollars. And they are even knocking out traditional companies that started 20, 30 years ago with the amount of money they are raising. So what I can say is, in the age of technology, for every child of nobody in Nigeria, embrace technology, learn whatsoever you can learn, craft, design, programming, learn it, because knowledge economy is the economy of the future, not oil anymore, not oil and gas, not whatever. If we are able to get a grasp of learning stuff online and we can turn it into a business or to render a service, we all transform the country, because at the end of everything, the money will shift away from those who are getting money from oil or who are depending on natural resources to the people who are offering services to other people to make a living, and we can determine or dictate the future of our own country. And I think that's also a way to go.
Okay.
So learn skills.
Thank you. Learning skills and viewers at home. I see time is not on our side. But definitely, I think when I will knock on your door again, to be able to bring to us more especially because you are not yet done. I think viewers want to hear you more again. Yes. You are a very busy person. Thank you for your time. And maybe we would like to even have your time again to talk on how to create this system, workable system for ourselves, because you have been talking about workable system. I think viewers would like to understand, to know how to create this workable system for ourselves. Maybe I would like to invite you one of the weeks again to be our presenters, how to create workable system.
I don't know. I don't know.
So,
to be honest, if I say I know, it's hard, because how do you want to convince everybody? It's hard. We are very big unless something happens. But the bottom, I think the first stage is what we are doing right now, challenging each other and making each and every one of us know that this system is not working and we need to change it. How can we change it? Then we can start coming up with ideas of what can we do. And I think that's just the way forward.
So viewers, you have heard him. He said this a collective effort. Collective effort. It's not an individual effort. And that is why PAPCA International, this is our motto: quality and excellence to conquer all. Together we shall achieve. That is it. So thank you for your time. But before we go again, I was privileged, you understand, going to, let me just say, when I was in the 500 level student, I was one of my lecturer was teaching me entrepreneurship, and he taught me about caveat, issue of caveat. Understand? And coming to UK, I saw a caveat. I don't want to mention the name of the product. You understand? That went wrong. So I decided to call that company and say that this is what has happened. This is what has happened. Immediately, because knowing that in the law it says that if you put a caveat on something, you have the right to sue that company as a consumer, even in Nigeria. You understand? Because this is customer and product consumer stuff relations. You understand? So the owner of the company knows that when he was beginning to big, and he decided to replace that. But in Nigeria, I was intrigued, I was perplexed, understand, because I know that I said that I was paralyzed with the act of the man. You understand? I was thinking that and he's going to behave like a normal Nigerian that I used to know. You understand? You see, what's there? Am I the one that caused the thing? You understand? That's the usual thing. And you might think because you, the customer, the consumer doesn't have right. You understand? You go away with that. You understand?
Yeah.
So my question is this: it works in UK, and I begin to ask myself this question. That's why I'm come to try to come back to this system of a thing you're talking about. The laws, and I look at all the laws that we are taught, both sciences. All right. I'm a science student. I'm a researcher. By profession, I'm a nuclear and environmental physicist. Understand? So I'm into STEM. All these things that have been taught in theory in Nigeria, coming to UK, I see it practical. Why is it still again that we only have the more of theoretical in Nigeria, no practical like that? Nothing socio-economically is not practicable. Scientifically, you see hardly to practice what the laws we have. So I think I'm trying to ask you a question. Is it that is it possible for us that the professors we have can they also step in and begin to bring down the system and say that let's do another, let's let there be restructuring? Or what do you say?
I mean, it's a two-dimensional thing. I think just like the issue of research, those laws are probably there, dead somewhere, and not nobody's implementing or enforcing it. It is impossible for you in UK to sell a bad product for two reasons. Number one, customers will write a bad review for you, and you probably won't get any sales again. Number two, the moment your product gets into whatever and somebody complains to some kind of quality commission, there are enforcement agencies that will come around and shut down your business. And they will even put a fine, a big fine on you that will
Yes,
run your
that's the
company
law.
bankrupt.
Yes.
So if if you know that is there, your customer service will be top notch. And that's why you see banks in Nigeria are misbehaving, because there is nobody that's going to catch them. You understand? However, if you look at it on the other hand, let's look at the issue of professors that you're talking about. There was something I said recently. I said, okay, why can't we have basic sciences or basic education in our local dialects, local language? Imagine in the UK, or I've lived on the other side of Europe. People who does not go to school understand what 20 degrees centigrade is. In my language, there is no way I can explain 20 degrees centigrade, because the only thing we have is relativity in terms of, oh, that thing is warm, or it is very warm, or it is very, 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 very warm. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
If we can take education to the grassroots, basic education to the grassroots, I think that thing is going to revolutionize a lot of things. The basic one, local language, let them be able to understand, okay, when we want to measure temperature, basic hygiene, or okay, if somebody is having heart attack, because those are the basic education that people get in this part of the world at the basic level. If somebody is having an heart attack, even some of us did not even know what to do until we got to this part of the world. If somebody is having stroke, what are you supposed to do?
I don't
It's a
know.
basic education. They're all basic education. If somebody is fainting in Nigeria, we'll put spoon and fork in their mouth so that their mouth will not close. Whereas it's probably even more dangerous. And basic education says you just need to put them in a specific position, and the blood that ran away from where it is will flow back and it will wake up. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
And so on and so forth. So I believe the moment, research is still too high. Let's come back to the basics. How can we make basic science, get it translated into our basic local language? You are a nuclear physicist. Imagine me having a nuclear power station and all the safety measures that are in place. I just put one graduate there. The guy just wants to be collecting money. He doesn't even understand what the whole nuclear whatever is. He does not even understand the hazard.
Definitely.
So it's just like, let's just switch it off. If we just switch it off, let's turn it on. If we turn it off, the day Wahala happens is the day we realize, like, I don't keep people for this country. However, if the guy understands, if everybody understands the basics, the moment they are saying that something is wrong in the power station, they will be the one that will call the authority to say somebody is trying to put all of us in what? In danger.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And that is it. Basic education. See the plane that crashed in Abuja and everybody is rushing to the site. It's all because we don't understand the impact.
Definitely.
You will inhale particles of the burning plane that is burning, and next month you have cancer.
Yeah, I think particulate matter. Yeah, as this is also part of my own undergraduate, or let's say basic knowledge. Yes.
So we need to take that basic science to the grassroots so that people will understand that, okay, see, for your own safety. Do you understand? For your own safety. I mean, in countries where people fight war, or in countries where they have whatever service, from the moment you finish secondary school like this, you have to go and enlist. Everybody knows how to operate a gun. For example, in the US is making a lot of money from selling guns. So they made it a law that everybody, they made it very easy for everybody to access guns. So it became, it's not a law. So if anybody will quote me, it's not a law, but it became very easy for an average American to have knowledge on how to assemble guns, because it is one thing they are making a lot of money from. You understand?
Yes.
If you go to the Netherlands, an average Dutch person understands a lot much more about milk, about cheese, If you go to Germany, an average German person understands the maintenance of Volkswagen and so on and so forth, because that's one thing. Though those are private businesses, but if you look into it in depth, the government of those countries invested heavily in those businesses. So that's how they became a big giant, and they also influenced the country. So the bottom line of the whole nonsense I'm saying is that we need to take education down to the grassroots. One of the ways we can do it is for the government to invest in private businesses who will go ahead and impact the local people, which is also another possibility. But if private businesses cannot thrive, then all those things are not going to be possible. Government needs to find a way, or we as individuals in Nigeria needs to start volunteering to find a way to educate, not certificate, not give people certificate, but educate so that they will understand the basics. And I think that will open a lot of doors for us.
Thank you very much. As I bring it to the end today, viewers at home, as we have heard our presenter say, education, educating the young means is the essence. I quote him, I'm reading from what he says, is the essence. The essence of education is not to get certificate or job, but to be a holistically developed person who can positively impact society. As I wrap up the program for tonight, that shows that for the common interest to find a way out of this pandemic called poverty virus in Nigeria, those professors that are lawmakers, those doctors, engineers that are ministers, they need real education. Without real education, the same problem will begin to repeat itself. As I quote Albert Einstein, one of the greatest physicists, says that when you are doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, that's called insanity. So we will say categorically, maybe our leaders are insane because they repeat the same way to get the same result. We will see the passion in them. They want to change things to us, but they are following the same crude way. So our leaders, this is a call for you. We want you to be educated. Forget about the certificates. We need education so that we can have a favorable law that will govern Nigeria, and we have this vaccine to tackle the pandemic called poverty virus in Nigeria. Nigeria will be great again. Africa will be free. I remember my humble self, PAPCA International, the one that have roots in Africa, branches in North and South America, Asia, Australia, Antarctica, and Europe. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel, PAPCA International TV. Other social media handles like Facebook page, Instagram, PAPCA International, Twitter, PAPCA Eats, and many other things. We will continue to bring the series poverty virus in Nigeria until we have the vaccine. Thank you very much as we take a bow.